This podcast is brought to you by Legend Comics and Coffee in Omaha, Nebraska, located in scenic downtown Benson. They got a new location. It's absolutely gorgeous. Check it out. And by listeners like you. Go to Patreon/Two-Headed Nerd. Become a patron. Support this show.
Once, they were two best friends managing a comic book store. But when an innocent blood oath went wrong, the two found themselves trapped in the same body, imprisoned in a strange pyramid made of long boxes, buried deep below their hometown, where they are doomed to discuss comic books until the end of time. They were once Joe and Matt. Now they are known as the Two-Headed Nerd. And this is their podcast.
Broadcasting from the Ziggurat at Omaha and caverns deep below the metro area. It's been a couple weeks, but it's our pleasure to welcome you to episode 786 of the Two-Headed Nerd Comic Book Podcast. I am your head, number one. My name is Matt Baum. Time for me to come clean. I spent our monthly budget on Nightcrawler-themed Labubu dolls. That's why we haven't been here for a couple weeks, and I apologize.
Matt, it's been a month. It's been a month since our last new comics show.
Yeah, I know.
That's how badly your Labubu habit has cost us.
Disgusting.
I am the Internet's Joe Patrick, your head number two, and the first step on the road to recovery is admitting you have a problem.
It's true.
You are sending all these things back.
Yeah, I don't really like them. They're creepier than I thought they were going to be.
It's time for another new comic show where we'll review 8 comics from the past 2 New Comic Book Wednesdays. After that, we'll set you up with our must-read new comic picks for next week.
In this episode, thrill as Jason Aaron shows us how much ass Uncle Scrooge can whoop. The Ice Cream Man creators have Superman trying new flavors of Kryptonite. Ben Percy uses the Predator to prove how much he hates the Fantastic Four. Willow Wilson reveals the Black Cat's beauty routine. There's quite a bit that goes into it. And Rick Remender teams up with Daniel Acuna to kill some cute furry animals. You'll see. It's all happening right now. It's review time in the Ziggurat.
Before the White House sends in the National Guard to get some clarity on our rating system, let's explain how it works. Each comic we review is rated using our 3-point scale: buy it, skim it, or leave it. Then we pick the best comic we reviewed to enter the THN Permanent Collection. Our Synthezoid assistant Macho posts our written review comics on twoheadednerd.com every single week, but we only discuss them with each other right here on the New Comics Review Show. Macho, tell the bloodthirsty mole man gangs we're taking the Ziggurat back right after we review these comics.
I'm sure your justice will be like lightning, sirs. Here are your review comics for the week of Wednesday, the 13th of August. That was a Thunderbolts joke, by the way.
I know I make fun of Joe for all the Superman comics he reviews, but here I am reviewing another Disney comic. It's Uncle Scrooge, Earth's Mightiest Duck, #1 from Marvel, written by Jason Aaron, art by Mahmoud Asrar and Ciro Cangialassi, Giuseppe Comunicoli, and Daniela Orlandini. A lot of Italian folks working on this one, but there's a reason. Colors by Ariana Consoni, letters by VC's Joe Carmanga, cover by Gabrielle Dell'Otto, 32 pages for $4.99. Here is your...
You worked so hard to pronounce the names of all those other Italians except for poor Joe Caramagna.
Well, Joe's from the Bronx, I think, so he's fine.
He can be Caramanga.
Here's your solicited short and sweet. The planet has been conquered by alien invaders, the connoisseurs, nefarious hoarders of the rarest antiques from throughout the cosmos. As they tear the Earth apart, pillaging its fabled treasures, only the world's greatest adventurer can possibly stop them. But Scrooge McDuck is facing a battle unlike any he's ever fought, trapped inside his own mind, fighting to preserve his most precious memories. Jason Aaron, once again, returning to Uncle Scrooge. We loved the first Uncle Scrooge and the Infinity Dime one-shot. Here, he's got 4 issues to play with Uncle Scrooge. And like the solicit says, it's very clever. Uncle Scrooge is being tortured by aliens who are stealing his memories bit by bit, which allows him to go back in time and revisit a lot of these famous Uncle Scrooge stories, made famous by Carl Barks back in the day, legendary Duck stuff. And this just looks amazing. This whole crew of artists.
I loved the intro page was, before the credits, it was like Scrooge McDuck is the Colossus of the Klondike, the whatever of the whatever. And it was like scenes from all these old Disney comics.
Oh, yeah.
From his most famous adventures.
Right. And we're going to revisit all of those.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And they truly are. I know it sounds funny. We're talking about Uncle Scrooge here, but there really is an amazing comic book history behind Uncle Scrooge comics. They're wonderful, and creators love this stuff. One of the reasons that there's so many Italian names on this is because they've continued these Duck comics in Europe, and they come out of Italy. And these artists are just incredible, studied at the desk of Carl Barks to not mimic his style, but homage his style. And then there's also names you might recognize like Mahmoud Asrar, Orlandini, Comunicoli. These are guys that work at Marvel full time and just love this stuff, grew up with it. And you can tell they are gushing all over these pages. The book looks amazing, and it kind of jumps from classic Disney to sort of 90s DuckTales animated kind of Disney to modern sort of comic book story, superhero storytelling, because Jason Aaron's story, it's like part whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow and part Kingdom Come almost. It's insane.
There's this thing, Asrar, and I'm not sure who else had a hand in it, but when the art shifts to the past, it develops this almost like woodcut look, like you're looking at a wood carving, like a historical relief.
That was Camuncoli and Orlandini on that part. It's
man, Lordy, that's good stuff.
Beautiful stuff. And it's like baby Scrooge at the time, who's still an asshole. He's the toughest shoe shine boy in all of Scotland. Like, don't mess with him.
Right.
I like that Aaron.
He tries to punch a robot.
Yeah, like Aaron sets this up. Like when the aliens do show up, and of course they steal all of Scrooge's money, Scrooge beats the hell out of a ton of them because he's a total badass. And he's just like a badass that's fast with his fists. That's all you need. But he also gives like Donald very similar treatment. His entrance is laugh out loud ridiculous. I love what he's done with Huey, Dewey, and Louie here. Every duck that you can think of is going to make an appearance. This is Jason Aaron just having too much fun with Uncle Scrooge. And I'm just thrilled to read another Jason Aaron Uncle Scrooge comic, and I can't believe I'm saying it out loud. I'm giving this a huge buy it. I know it sounds ridiculous. Check this out. It is just fun, and it's clever for readers of all ages.
Yeah, this is fantastic stuff. Jason Aaron obviously has a huge affection for Uncle Scrooge. There is a who's who of names coming on future installments as well. I can't wait.
Yeah, I forgot to mention.
This is great fun.
Each one is going to have different artists telling stories from different times in Scrooge's life. And it's just like loaded with talent. They got quite the lineup for this.
This was great fun. This is a buy it from me. And I'll say this, like Jason Aaron, like the Connoisseurs is a great concept for any comic book, let alone a comic book about funny animals. Like this would be a great regular comic concept about an alien race that pillages worlds for their culture. Awesome.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. But it's also specific to show like, hey, you can stick these Disney characters in any storyline, and a modern idea like this that's still poking fun at comics and collectibles and things like that totally works. It's great. It's super meta.
Huge buy it. I totally loved it. Moving on to creators that are no stranger to all ages comics. It's Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum #1.
Is that a joke?
From Ice Cream Man creators. Okay. Yes, it's a joke.
All right, I wasn't sure. It's awfully dry in your delivery. That's all.
Sorry. Hey, you know what? I'm trying my best to improve my delivery. This is from DC Comics Black Label. It's written by Ice Cream Man writer W. Maxwell Prince, with art by Ice Cream Man artist Martin Marazzo, colors by Chris O'Halloran, Not sure if he works on the Ice Cream Man. Probably, though. Letters are by good old Neon. That's got to be an Ice Cream Man guy.
I didn't do any research for those last two names. Ice Cream Man, please. All right, just say we know it's the team of the Ice Cream Man.
I'm just saying these guys came from somewhere. They obviously are used to working with one another. Cover here is by Marazzo and O'Halloran. It's 32 pages for $5.99. It's a Black Label book, though, so it's, it's beefy and square bound. Here is a bit of your solicit. The team behind the critically acclaimed book that I shall not mention again comes to DC to apply its singular storytelling style to none other than the Man of Steel. 4 new kryptonites have been discovered in deep space, and Superman needs to know just what exactly they do to him, lest the colorful rocks of his home planet fall into evil hands. So that's it. Elevator pitch. 4 new kryptonites. Gotta test them out. It's the only responsible thing to do.
Is it?
Test them out.
Is it?
Test them out. Hey, Batman, my best friend.
Yeah.
Test them out on me.
Oh, and if
even though we don't know what the hell they're going to do.
And if anything goes wrong, no big deal. Just kill me.
Right.
Like, that's the plan.
Yeah. Thank you to Hecatron, the Ziggurat's newest love slave, for tuning me in to Ice Cream Man. I know that we reviewed issue 1 years ago, but it has moved way up on my list of things to read because of his love of it. And so I've been excited to check this out. I honestly thought it was going to be a whole lot weirder than this comic is.
Yeah.
But Prince and Marazzo play things remarkably straight.
Sort of Silver Age. Wacky straight almost,
or as
right?
straight as the concept will allow. I'm not going to spoil much about the storytelling or the concept of future issues, but the solicit tells you everything you need to know. Learning the effects of the kryptonite featured in this issue is part of the fun, and it informs the storytelling of the issue. So I'm not going to tell you anything else about it other than to say that Prince weaves this lovely twisting narrative that makes the most out of this idea, and Marazzo's fantastic art as well. His takes on Batman, Lex, Lois, and Jimmy are pretty timeless in a way, but they're also like kind of hyper weird. It's this weird mix between the two.
Yeah.
Especially Jimmy's like, Superman bow tie wearing weirdo.
Yeah. This gave me a real like timeless Silver Age kind of feel, but it works for what they're doing. They're doing an experiment with storytelling and using the kryptonite as a plot point for that experiment. And it's, look, this wouldn't work in regular Superman. Honestly, it wouldn't work if somebody super flashy was drawing it, even like the art really works for this as well.
Yeah, right. Or it's flashy in a different way, really.
Yeah, it's good. I'm not saying it's bad.
It reminded me sort of a mix between somebody like Frank Quietly.
Definitely.
And Seth Fisher, who was the artist on a book called Green Lantern Will World back in the day.
Yeah.
Seth passed away years ago, but his art was just bizarrely sublime. There's a surprising amount of like emotional drama given the page count and the script, which is already pretty busy. And it really gets to the emotional heart of this evergreen, quote unquote, version of Superman because it's Black Label, right?
Right.
It's recognizable, but not tied to any specific continuity. Marazzo's work with O'Halloran is fantastic. The visual style is all of his own, but again, timeless, especially in terms of how he depicts Superman. The line art, though, is only half of it. The colors would not work nearly as well without O'Halloran's colors and Marazzo's sense of pacing and storytelling.
Well, and the colors are used to tell the story as well. With the kryptonite again, like as like a plot device.
Exactly.
And it's just
no spoilers. Again, no spoilers, clever, but you just take our word for it. This first issue, it's not just a showcase for the bizarre and wonderful talents of Prince and Marazzo. It's also not just an excellent execution of Black Label's Evergreen Stories mandate that we made fun of years ago. It's a great Superman story, period.
It's also not an adult book.
Well, I mean, as we've gone over time and time again, Black Label does not necessarily mean adult.
Except for when it does.
Yes, sure. That's right. And there are still plenty of colors left in the Kryptonite rainbow for these guys to get really weird, and I hope they do. I'm giving this a huge buy it.
Yeah, they didn't get as weird as I thought they were going to as well, but the experiment is what it turns out this is all about. And they do a lot of this experimental storytelling in the Ice Cream Man books as well, which is just mind-bending the way they do it. So it's fun to see it done with Superman. I'm giving it a buy it for all the same reasons. I had a lot of fun with this. I'm just curious to see what the drive, the experiment is on each issue. And that's going to keep you coming back. Right? And there's only 4 of them, so you're not going to get sick of it. Good time. I'm giving it a buy. Folks, I have it on good authority that Ben Percy hates the Fantastic Four, and I'll tell you why I know. Because I read The Predator Kills the Marvel Universe #1 from Marvel, written by Ben Percy, art by Marcelo Ferreira and Daniel Picciotto, inks by Jay Leaston and Picciotto, colors by Frank Darmata, letters by V.C. Clayton's Cowles, cover by Lionel Francis Yu. It's 32 pages. It's $5.99. As you know, there has been a series of these Predator versus books. It started with Predator versus Wolverine. We went through Predator versus Black Panther, where we see the Predator get the vibranium, and then Predator versus Spider-Man, which was kind of the first time we looked and went, this doesn't feel like Spider-Man, because he was doing stuff that didn't make sense, like he was a full-on reporter and whatnot. That really established that all of this is happening somewhere else. This book nails it down. No question. The Predator is killing the Marvel Universe because Ben Percy gave vibranium. If you read Predator versus Spider-Man, which was not bad, it turned out to be more fun than I thought it was going to be. There was a clever take on Kraven the Hunter. Spoiler alert, in the end, Kraven literally joins the Predators as one of their hunters because they're like, this guy's a badass. He belongs with us. Okay, I'll allow it. He is Kraven the Hunter. The world's best hunter. Why not? Here, the entire tone of everything we've seen in these other books, which were hyper serious, no question, changes almost instantly. And the only spoiler I'm going to give away is that the Guardians of the Galaxy show up first and immediately just get mowed down by the Predator in the most ridiculous, violent way you can possibly think of. But it's done with like this humorous tone almost, and the art isn't.
Yeah, kind of.
Right? Like they're telling jokes and doing their thing and haha, funny. And the Predator just murders Rocket Raccoon and murders Star-Lord. And like, I'll get it. Okay. Predators are badass. Maybe they can take those guys out quick if they're not paying attention. Sure. Drax the fucking Destroyer. You're telling me the Predator can just show up and whip Drax the Destroyer's ass?
I mean, look, if you want me to explain it with handbook terms, that this is the evolved version of Drax that isn't Hulk-like.
I mean,
she's more like flesh and blood, you know, but even so.
Yeah, we've seen Gamora. We've seen Groot like take out way more powerful characters than this. So it's like, they are amping. No, you're right. They're amping the Predator up as much as they need to based on whoever the Predator is fighting. And from what it looks like, I guess it's just so they can kill him. You know, and this was like kind of all the stuff we made fun of when we heard that Marvel was getting the Predator. Like, oh, how long before the Predator has to kill Iron Man or whatever? Well, here you get to see it. Ever want to see the Predator brutally mutilate Mr. Fantastic? I got a comic for you. One problem. The art's not great. It's really not good.
Very not great. No.
The art is lacking. There's a couple pages that are fun. There's a reveal where we see a Predator being tested by Weapon X with, you know, the Wolverine helmet on. And I was like, oh, that's clever. You know, I kind of like that, whatever. But there's just not a lot to like here. It's mean-spirited just to be mean-spirited. It's trying to be funny when maybe it should just be mean-spirited. The art is strange. A lot of weird faces. The King of the Predator looks like he's sitting on a cotton candy throne.
I'm gonna say it. The vibranium armor on the one Predator
It's
dude
dumb.
looks stupid.
Yeah, like they just put him in this like gladiator like costume from a Star Trek episode where they got thrown into a gladiatorial ring. Like they're so much more interesting when they're wearing their Predator armor than when you put them in this powered up vibranium armor. And I just, by the end, I'm like, I don't care. If this is what this whole experiment was to get to, I really don't care.
Waste of time.
Yeah, just a waste of time. And some of the worst Fantastic Four art I've seen in a while. This thing looks terrible. Looks like the armadillo. Sue is making faces like she has the powers her husband has to distort her body, perhaps. There's just not much fun to be had here. And in my written review, I mentioned like, look, I was not a big fan of Marvel Zombies. It went way too far, but at least Marvel Zombies was fun. This is not fun. This is just
Marvel Zombies got the joke.
Yeah. This is like trying to make the joke now, and it's too late. You're 4 books in. It doesn't become a joke now. Sorry. This is a leap.
Yeah.
It just didn't work for me at all, and I just didn't care.
I agree completely. I read it today, in fact, and because obviously we've missed several shows, and I apologize for that. And I remember you telling me Predator Kills the Marvel Universe was fucking terrible, and I was like, how bad could it be? No, it's bad. It's really terrible. The art is not good.
No.
This is a leave it, and I'm not going to keep going into it because then we're piling on. Don't buy this comic. It's not worth your money.
Yeah.
It's not good.
And I feel bad for people that were impressed by what was going on with this Predator versus stuff, because it was better than it had any right to be. And this is where we end up.
Some of them were. Some of them were.
Yeah, some of them were. That's true.
Not all of them.
But this is where we ended up.
Not good. Well, since we're already down in the gutter,
I was going to say this next one, though. This is going to...
this is where we turn it all
pull us
around.
right back up.
My next review is of Valiant Beyond, Bloodshot, #1 from Valiant/Alien Books. It's written by noted transphobe Mauro Mantella.
Hey, all right.
Art by Fernando Hines Furukawa. Art assistant Juan Pablo Massa. Colors are by Brushu Studio and Rocchio Zucchi, aka Du Noir. Letters are by Ezekiel Inverni. Cover is by Rodolfo Migliari. It's 28 pages for $4.99. No ads. So that is a low page count, but there are no ads. So there is that. So it should be noted for the record that in the aftermath of this comic's release, it was pointed out by some that are maybe a little bit more tuned into that sort of thing, that there is some dialogue that could read as transphobic. Valiant, or Alien Books rather, said, "Oh, sorry guys, it's a translation issue. Moro is
I don't buy
Argentinian."
I don't buy that.
Oh, no. And you shouldn't buy it because the internet immediately went to X and found a bunch of transphobic shit that this guy posted on the internet.
Yeah. So, okay. I did not know anything about this creator and whatnot until you just brought it up. And I was going to say, like, when you brought it up, I was like, okay, because there's this really weird line about parents forcing their children to become vampires regardless of like what their kids will think later on in life. And I was like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Right.
And why would parents force someone to either be trans or a fucking vampire? Like, what are you talking about?
Right. And so it's a transphobe dog whistle, and you can read more about it from people much smarter than I am. Here's a bit of your solicit. A powerful new drug is unleashed on Japan and has set the underworld ablaze. There's only one force strong enough to stop the BS, which is what they call the drug because it's made from Bloodshot's blood.
Oh, I thought it's because it was made from bullshit.
Bullshit, right. And he's not looking for an invitation to start kicking butt.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So this issue is supposedly the grand reboot of the Valiant universe. They're off to a fucking stellar start. To the book's credit, if there is any to give, you can jump in without knowing anything. There's a one-page recap, fills you in on everything you need to know about Bloodshot. It rarely diverges from the last one as far as the broad strokes go. So
yeah, this is like
forth.
Supposed to be a reboot and a, quote, new origin. There is nothing new about this origin other than he's got a beard.
What is new is that they don't mention Project Rising Spirit, which is the big through line through Bloodshot.
Oh.
Like, it's not Project Rising Spirit. Otherwise, it's the same.
So
Nanites, blood, dead soldier, Bloodshot.
Subtracted something and gave him a beard.
Yep.
That's what we did.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Simple premise. You know, there's a bunch of vampire Yakuza members out there using a diminished version of Bloodshot's blood to corner the drug market. It's called BS. And our boy ain't too happy about it. There are a couple of interesting and very, very juvenile ideas here. Things that I did not occur to me as a lifelong person that has read vampire fiction. There's also a twist at the end that made me go, oh, well, that's new. However, the rest of the comic is so joyless and unfun. And that's not even mentioning the poor translation. It's like they took this guy's Spanish script and they pumped it into ChatGPT or some other free translation program and then just used what it gave them without fact checking it at all.
I'm glad to hear that probably happened, because otherwise I was like, there are some serious storytelling problems here. And this comic.
Oh yeah. No,
this comic is so busy telling you what it's doing, telling you what's going on, telling you why that guy did that, telling you the thought I just had. Like, just show me some stuff, you guys. Come on.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that there isn't a problem with the translation, because there is. Also, apparently, Mauro Mantella just learned the word fuck yesterday, and now he won't stop repeating it, and it got real old real fast. If I'm going to list positive things, I thought the art was okay. Fernando Hines Furukawa does a fine job conveying a sense of movement, which is a big plus because action is a huge component here. It's also well choreographed. The panel layouts are inventive.
Yeah.
The perspective is inventive.
Dude's action is good, like legit good. He's got some really good action panels.
And so if I saw his name on another project, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I remember liking that guy. The solicit is full of all caps references that drop the names of the Absolute, Ultimate, and Energon universes.
Oh, yeah.
And I cannot decide if they were trying to trick people into reading their big relaunch or if they were just joking. Either way, they fucking failed. This book sucks. Alien books and their shepherding of the Valiant universe has sucked ever since they took over. And I think it's time to let it die. Let it be buried for another 20 years for another comic book archaeologist to dig it up and revive it. Just like what happened, 10, 15 years ago. Just leave it.
So I'm just going to go off what I knew when I read it, because I didn't know any of this transphobic stuff. So I'm not going to bring it up. I definitely had that feeling when I read that line, like, what in the fuck is that trying to say? But I also thought maybe this can be marked up to how bad the storytelling is. And when you find out that, like, oh, this is translated and they did a terrible job. Also, there's problems with the guy, but the comic just can't make up its mind what it is. It's trying to be hip and it's trying to be cool, but it doesn't give a shit. And it's also super violent. Oh, and there's vampires, but the vampires are super vampires, and the super vampires can do even more super stuff. And like, it's so busy trying to be something like an absolute idea, right? But everything is very surface level. And they don't do enough to relaunch or change this character for it to call itself a new reboot or jumping on point. They don't do enough to make me interested in the character other than what it already was. And the storytelling's really bad. Yeah, the Alien Valiant exercise, it's done. We're done here.
It's a failure.
Yeah, it's a failure. And I blame Alien. I do not blame Bloodshot. There's nothing wrong with the character of Bloodshot. There's nothing wrong with
Manowar or Shadow
any of these
Man.
Valiant characters. Right. And I feel bad for Valiant readers. And I disagree. I don't think it's time to bury Valiant and say ugh. Valiant needs a good shepherd. Valiant needs someone. I don't care if it's like IDW or Dynamite. Like, grab a hot creator and say, hey, you're in charge of the Valiant universe. Get your buddies, do some stuff with them. And let's play with these toys. They're great toys. This is not a good exercise. This is a leave it. And that's saying that before I knew the guy was a fucking transphobe. So this is leave it and fuck you, asshole.
Two stinkers in a row, eh, sirs? Good luck to you and your review comics for the week of Wednesday, the 20th of August.
Thank you, Macho. And I'll tell you what, I was thinking about this a lot. And if Peter Parker is not going to be married to Mary Jane, can't even date her, then you know what? I want him dating Felicia Hardy. I want him dating the Black Cat. So I was kind of excited for the Black Cat #1 from Marvel Comics. It's written by G. Willow Wilson. Art by Gleb Melnikov. Colors by Brian Reber. Letters by Joe Caramanga. And main cover, it's a gorgeous cover, by Adam Hughes. 32 pages for $4.99. It's a little bit of your solicit. Super thief, super hero. Felicia Hardy is the Black Cat, the world's slyest and most skilled super thief. She's, Catwoman at DC, but she's over here at Marvel. And instead of flirting with Batman, she flirts with Spider-Man. You guys all know who she is. The whole crux of the story here is some shit went down in Amazing Spider-Man #9, which I have not read, but he fought someone named Hellgate. Hellgate messed Spider-Man up. We know this if you only read this comic because Spider-Man shows up and doesn't say anything. And Felicia's like, well, you're being a jerk and you haven't called me back and stuff. I'm mad at you, Spider-Man. So I guess the romance I was hoping for is off the table for now. Instead, we kind of get this fourth wall breaking story of Felicia's day and how it goes and kind of how rough it is to be the Black Cat, right? Running from cops, running from villains, running from heroes. She's kind of sick of it and she's over it. And normally G. Willow Wilson is really good at these kind of personal stories. Check out her Poison Ivy run. It's excellent. Her Miss Marvel stuff she did at Marvel back in the early 2000s, I guess it was now. Really, really good personal stories. Great stuff. And I guess I was hoping for more of that here. I just didn't get it in this first issue. It's all very surface level superhero stuff where the plot is kind of pushed to the point where in the very end, she says out loud, I guess I'm going to be a good guy, and I went, oh, okay. That's fine, I suppose. And maybe it would make more sense if I were caught up on Joe Kelly's Spider-Man. I just have not loved Joe Kelly's Spider-Man, to be perfectly honest. And if it is Joe Casey and not Joe Kelly, I apologize. But you're both named Joe and it's easy to confuse you. I think Melnikov is good. His lizard looks great. He's huge and he's super powerful. I don't quite understand why the lizard can grunt and snort and Felicia can understand what he's saying because he's like, and you see like a box that's like, why are you messing with me, Black Cat? And she's just having a conversation with him like a Han and Chewie type thing. Not sure how that or why that works, but whatever. His Black Cat is very sexy. She looks great. There's a little cheesecake here because there has to be. It's the Black Cat, and that's not what I show up for. Doesn't hurt, but I will say some of the faces got a little weird, especially in the bathtub scene. Felicia's lips look very recently injected, perhaps. Like they hurt. I don't know.
I mean, but that's probably, you could probably say that that's part of her routine.
She doesn't look like that for the rest of the book, is my point. So maybe you're telling me she got in the bathtub and gave herself Botox? That's what you're saying? No. This is fine, is where I come down on it. And I guess I was hoping for a little more. Maybe there will be more. It's only issue 1. Art's good. I liked some of the personal stuff that Wilson gave us as like peek at what Felicia's life is like. There just wasn't enough of it for now. Strong skim it. It's fine. It's fine.
This is a skim it from me, and I did not love it as much as you. I did not love the art. In fact, I thought the art was a pretty poor fit. I think that there is some promising stuff. Like there are some shots with the lizard that are kind of fun.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I thought that most of the human characters just looked weird. But I thought the script was interesting. I wasn't expecting the fourth wall breaking. I'm okay with Felicia, making a face turn. That's kind of interesting in the wake of what's going on in Amazing Spider-Man. So it's a skim it from me as well. I just wish the art was better. It's just not my cup of tea.
Fair. And dude's not great, but I think he has a lot of promise, and he's gotten really good. Like his work on that Robin series that he did a while back, Damian Wayne one that he did, was maybe better. So perhaps he had more time, or I don't know.
When one Justice League just isn't enough, you call Justice League Red. This is the first issue from DC. It's written by Saladin Ahmed with art by Clayton Henry. Colors are by Arif Prianto. Letters by Lucas Gattoni. Cover by Henry. It's 32 pages for $3.99. Here's a bit of your solicit. The Justice League has a new Spec Ops team so covert the founders can't know it exists. And its leader is the only hero who could keep JLR off of its radar, because he is the radar.
Hey-o.
Red Tornado is the heart and mind of the Watchtower, watching, projecting into the future, and his projections point to apocalypse as a direct result of the concentrated power of the JLU. When your Justice League ID card lights up red, Reddy needs you.
All right.
For the fate of humanity and for yourself, because you don't want to find out what Red can do with what he knows about you.
Yeah, I'm holding up for Justice League Blue with Blue Demon running the team. That's going to be good.
So for me, the solicit kind of invoked memories of past titles like Secret Avengers and Justice League Task Force, where the membership roster changed based on the antagonist. Those books weren't always very well regarded. Looking at you, Secret Defenders. But it's a great hook on paper. I love the idea that it's a team that changes based on the need. Saladin Ahmed and Clayton Henry are obviously the latest to tackle the concept, and I gotta say, so far, I'm pretty intrigued. The script does a great job setting the stage, specifically Red Tornado and his revelation that the very formation of the Justice League is statistically likely to be the first in a series of cataclysmic events that lead to the apocalypse.
I mean, I'm sorry, but couldn't you say that about any superhero team doing anything?
You know what? Who are we to question Red Tornado? The guy is an android.
I suppose.
Super smart.
I don't know.
Ahmed offers solid characterization, but this issue is in full setup mode. We only ever see 3 of the characters that are on the cover, and that's including Red Tornado. And that kind of highlighted for me the lack of clarity about the book's mandate. For example, is this assortment of characters that's on the cover supposed to be the team roster? Or is it literally just an assortment of characters that illustrate that anyone could be on the team?
I don't think so, dude, because anyone's already on the Justice League. I think this is the team. You have to agree, though, that when the solicit is like, when your card flashes red, that means you got the call to be on Justice League Red. It's not just a solicit, it's a story, too. Right. I'll get into it in a minute here.
I don't know how you're going to keep a squad that operates on this kind of level secret from the likes of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman.
And I'm sorry, but I don't understand why they have to be secret. They don't spell it out well. They don't explain why, but there is a line where he says, my analysis shows that even telling them about this is what's going to tip the scale. And I get that, but you know what? I don't buy it. That's not enough.
No, but that leads me to my next point. There's also this kind of underlying hint that maybe the Red Tornado is not giving everyone the whole story, or he might not even be operating with a full set of gears. So I'm willing to give them a chance to build for a bit, because there's enough there that calls into question the premise. Like Power Girl and Simon Baz are like, why are we busting up this thing? Because it seems good. We will see. Clayton Henry, his style is very classic. He draws in this very like familiar superhero house style almost, and he does it very well.
Clayton Henry's
It's not especially flashy, but it's very slick.
He's great.
There are some standout panels, especially the one of Red Tornado at the beginning, the full splash page, and I'm not going to tell you anything more about it because it's gross. So, there was enough here to at least get me interested in future installments. I'm going to give this a buy it because the things that I questioned about the plot were at least addressed in the script, or at least that's how it seemed.
I guess. I didn't enjoy this as much as you did, and not because it's like poorly written or because it's poorly drawn. I just don't buy the premise. And I kind of feel this way about a lot of Saladin Ahmed's recent work, where it's like there's nothing wrong with it, but it's also not great. And I don't know if I love what you're doing, right? Like, that's the best thing I could say about his Daredevil right now.
Yeah.
This is fine, but we already have a Justice League book where anybody can be on the team at any time. And that book's outstanding. And there's no reason why you couldn't have like a covert squad that's doing stuff. I just don't buy that, like, even telling them about this thing could make the thing happen. One way or another, Superman and Batman are going to be fucking involved, dude. It's the apocalypse,
No, it's true. But I mean, but if the story is that Red Tornado is running this up and he's gone a little crazy.
I get it.
And that's why he's doing this.
Maybe.
But I agree with you that there's not enough there for you to make that conclusion. And I'm just speculating.
That's not here. I'm giving this a skim it. It felt like a perfectly good backup story in a Justice League comic so far. There was nothing here. I was like, oh man, give me more of this. Like, let's go. Clayton Henry's great. It's not bad. It's just a skim it. And there's a lot of these characters already going on in the Justice League that I really enjoy. So I don't know if I need it. We're going to take a break from the superheroes. A lot of superheroes, and I understand. We're going to talk about Escape #1 from Image Comics. It's written by Rick Remender, art by Daniel Acuna, letters by Russ Wooten, cover by Mr. Acuna, 40 pages for $4.99. Here's your solicit. Shot down, hunted, out of time. Oh, out of time, not like out of time traveling.
Not
out of time. The new ongoing two-fisted war epic from Remender and Acuna starts here. Rick Remender is like a top 5 comic writer for me. I don't care what he's putting out. I'm going to read it. And I love the way the guy writes comics. He has no fear of putting his main characters in the worst, most intense, painful, ridiculous situation you can possibly think of and breaking them, literally breaking the character, only to have them somehow emerge, usually scarred. Like, see his Black Science, if you don't believe me. See his Fear Agent. See his X-Force. Some of this, some of the things he put those characters through, just amazing. And this is the first time I think I've ever seen him write an anthropomorphic story. I didn't mention it's a war book. This is the first time I've ever seen him write a war comic. It also happens to be a war comic starring talking animals. So this is also the first anthropomorphic story I've read by him. And it's very much Masters of the Air, Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks. You've got a bombing crew who is on their 28th mission, and normally nobody makes it past 17, so they've well outlived their luck. They're making one more run on this super weapon.
On borrowed time.
Right. And we're not using the term Nazis. They're called something else like Narins or something here, but they're also animals.
I think that's the name of their nation, but they are Nazis. They
look like, they're fascists. And these are very much British characters. They're talking about how the fascists have bombed, their homeland, England or whatever.
I actually think it's a mix. I think only the one guy was British.
I mean, possibly. I'm not sure, but I mean, maybe they're mixing, the world a bit. But I just got a sense that they were all very much World War II UK bombing crew or whatever.
I think that they were allied. Like,
they were allied.
An allied group. Yeah.
And they're on this desperate mission. Only one of them is going to survive. But there's something about making these characters animals that also makes it like even more human and just awful when one of them gets cut in half by machine gun fire.
You mentioned it. I don't know if you read the back matter, because Remender writes exactly that in the last page.
I didn't read that. No.
He said, he read something about how, the reason why books like Watership Down or Animal Farm are written with animals is that it's easier to feel for them. You want to feel that everybody in the book is human, not just the good guys, quote unquote.
But it also makes you think about things like when we see the good guys making decisions that affect people that just live where the bad guys are.
Bombing women and children.
Right. And that's what Remender does so well. And now the hardest part about stories like this, whenever you have a talking animal story, is you have to have an incredible artist. Otherwise, you're not going to land it. It can come off as a cartoon. Acuna, who has also never done any anthropomorphic stuff I can think of other than maybe some Rocket Raccoon appearances, is incredible here. And no one should be coloring Acuna but Daniel Acuna. He's coloring this book. It is incredible. There's these sunset scenes in the sky as the planes are coming in. The aerial combat scenes are thrilling. And we haven't even gotten to the escaping part yet. This whole first issue is just the bombing run that leads to one character having to escape. This is incredible. Like, knocked it out of the park. Watch out, Garth Ennis. I'm coming for your war stories crown. I mean, he's going to have to write 17 more that are this good before he's on Garth Ennis's level. But I was so impressed with this. And man, I love this book. I'm giving it a massive buy it. This is going to be in a lot of best of lists at the end of the year. I guarantee it. Yeah,
I agree. This is a buy it from me. Daniel Acuna's art and coloring, especially the coloring,
God, it's beautiful,
is so gorgeous. But I mean, that's Daniel Acuna. He's credited with art and color, but the guy's a painter. That's so sure. Obviously it's art and color. But just like what struck me the most was the sunset through the clouds. That was this mix of soft gray and gold.
Yeah.
And white. It's like, it's so beautiful. And then, like you said, Doberman gets cut in half by bullets from a fascist bat.
The raccoon. The raccoon does. The cute little raccoon.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. And so it's so. Oh right, like literally. Right. Yes. It's so good, and the stakes are so high, and it's like Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, where you're not prepared for that sort of visceral horror because of the subject matter or because of the cast of characters, that is.
I would disagree. Because of the art.
No,
style.
I don't mean because of the plot. I mean because it's like, it's cute bears and talking ducks. It's like, and then you're like, oh my God, it's Hannibal.
Yeah, they are doing it there on purpose. Whereas this is
this is doing it on purpose as well. But
they just happen to be animals. That's it.
It's just like, Jesus Christ. Like, you feel so much for these characters. Now, I will say this. Remender said that bit about wanting to humanize all the characters, even the bad guys. But then all of the fascist characters are bats. And this is like, okay. Well, maybe they're not all bats. Maybe it's just the fascists are bats.
I think it's just the fascists are bats, and that's like their racism.
There were some dogs that were living in the area.
Yeah, I think that is the racism. We are the master race type thing, you know.
Yeah, so the bats are the Nazis, yeah. And yeah, man, gorgeous. Wonderful. So good. I can't wait for the next one. This is a buy it for me.
harrowing.
Yeah. You know what? I'm good for one thing, and that is superhero stuff. I deviate sometimes, but hey, the heart wants what the heart wants. It's Marvel all on one, number one from Marvel Comics. Why is that weird name the name of this book? It's because Marvel used to have a comic book in the 80s called Marvel 2-in-1 that started the thing. It's a whole thing. It's a joke. This is written by Ryan North, current scribe of the Fantastic Four. Pencils are by Ed McGuinness. Inks by Mark Farmer. Colors by Marcio Meniz. Letters by VC's Joe Caramagna. Cover by McGuinness, Farmer, and Meniz, sorry. It's 64 pages for $7.99. Now, bear that in mind when I read the next sentence. A 50-page epic.
Well, I mean,
50 story pages.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, but there's like
it's like every book. Every comic book is 32 pages, and only 20 of them are story pages.
But they're counting a lot of these as splash pages that are hammered together. So I think
it's true. No. It's that like like a 32-page comic is 20 story pages and 12, ad pages. Sure. That's just how it is. Sure. This is a 64-page comic. 50 story pages told entirely in splash pages and double page spreads.
Which is all Ed McGuinness ever wanted to do, right?
It should be all he is allowed to do.
From now on,
Here is your solicit. Ben Grimm, a.k.a. The Thing. He's the ever-loving idol of millions and powerhouse of the Fantastic Four. He's strong, he's kind, and he never gives up. He's also tired, and he's sore, and he's grumpy. There's always a new threat facing the world or the galaxy or the universe, and somehow he and the rest of the Fantastic Four are always the ones who can stop it. Ben Grimm is sick and tired of it. He just wants a break. But when he returns to Earth after a solo mission in space to discover the Fantastic Four have turned against him, along with the rest of New York City and apparently the entire world, he's got a mystery to solve and a whole wide world to clobber. That's right. It's Ben Grimm versus the Marvel Universe. With the exception of the final pages, the solicit is literally all you need to know. But it doesn't matter. The plot is not the point here. In fact, it wouldn't matter if this comic book had no plot. The point is to watch Ed McGuinness put on a masterclass of action storytelling for 50 straight pages. Now, it's going to come as no shock that not all is what it seems. And the other quote-unquote heroes are revealed to be robots almost immediately. Which is great, because that means the Thing can pop their heads off and use Mr. Fantastic's body to smash into the Human Torch. Sure, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
Do not bother trying to solve the mystery of where the robots come from. Because, first of all, you'll never guess in a million years. Second of all, there isn't a mystery. Like I said, the plot is practically irrelevant. North is clearly having a blast here. He's able to write one giant fight scene with this sort of greatest hits version of the Marvel Universe, but nobody is having as much fun as the art team.
Oh, yeah.
As you can imagine, McGuinness, Farmer, and Meniz, the art is sublime. Every single page is a feast for the eyes. It's full of details, big details and small details. There are things in the background of panels that don't mean shit, but you'll see them and go, ooh, that's fun. There are homages to fan favorite things like John Byrne's X-Men, and of all things, the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction video game from 20 years ago.
Really?
Where the Hulk turned a bunch of smashed up cars into boxing gloves. Yes,
yeah.
That's from a video game.
Okay.
And then, as if the previous 40-something pages weren't ridiculous enough, North and McGuinness up the stakes by throwing the fucking solar system at Ben, which leads to the very satisfying revelation about the big mastermind. It's completely out of left field. It's very obvious, both at the exact same time. It's a perfect ending. And this book is just a wonderful palate cleanser. This week has had all of it, you guys. Health scares, family drama, the fucking world on fire, the cruelty of the people that run it.
Predator versus Marvel Universe.
Predator versus the Marvel Universe. Bloodshot. Marvel All-on-One was like a breath of fresh air. And it's not going to, solve all your problems. But it's definitely going to make you feel a little bit better. It's a buy it. This was great.
Yeah, I can think of a lot of worse things than Ed McGuinness drawing the Thing whipping ass for 50 pages. This is great.
I know, right?
And I like to think that Ryan North got a preview copy of Predator versus the Marvel Universe and was like, you know what? Let's put something out that week that'll make people feel a little better. Yeah, it's a palate cleanser. Like, I don't know how well it sells because it's like a one-shot Marvel all-in-one. I hope the name...
It's $8. I get it,
It's expensive, but like Ed McGuinness fans are going to buy it, and they should, and you'll be rewarded for it. It's not just a silly one-shot. It's a well-written, silly one-shot. And it's Ed McGuinness showing like panels for suckers. Check this out. Bam! Doing his thing. This was great. It's a huge buy it. I loved it.
Enough of our incessant prattling. We want to know what you thought of these issues and anything else you're reading over on our Discord, where we talk about new comics every single day of the week, especially on Wednesdays. But before we shift gears to next week, we need to pick one to enter the THN Permanent Collection. Matt, what's it going to be for you? As if I needed to ask.
Yeah, it's Escape. That book was just an outstanding surprise. It was so good.
Any other week, it would have been Marvel All-on-One in a heartbeat. But Escape came in at the last minute and was like, not so fast, my friend. Escape gets my pick as well. It's a wonderful comic book. And like you said, a perfect, unexpected surprise.
Yeah. It's time to head to the THN Sanctum Sanctorum to make our must-read comic book picks for next Wednesday, August 27th. Joe Patrick. If you're a nerd that can only afford one comic book next week, what's it going to be? I feel sorry for you, but I get it. Times are tough. You spent $8 on your Ed McGuinness comic last week. Probably blew a hole in your pocket.
My pick for next week is The Mortal Thor, #1 from Marvel. It's written by Al Ewing with art by Pasquale Ferry. It's 32 pages for $4.99. So you might remember that we reviewed the last issue of The Immortal Thor on this podcast. I had not read Thor in quite a while, but I was interested enough in the story that Ewing sets up in that final issue. And it's a story a direction that he's taking not just Thor, but also all the Asgardians. And I'm not going to spoil it for those of you coming in cold, but I thought it was a really fun idea that I'd never seen before. Plus, Pasquale Ferry, one of my favorite underused comic artists, so having him back on Thor doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I think I was a little hard on that issue. In fact, a buddy of mine took me aside. I was like, I think you're a little hard on the death of Thor. And I was like, all right, you know what? You might be right. And thinking, I went back and looked at it again. It was pretty good. I am interested to see where this goes.
You made some excellent points, though, I must say.
But regardless, I was a little hard on it. My pick for next week, The Invisible Man, #1 from Image Comics. It's written by James Tynion, The Four, with art by Danny. 32 pages for $4.99. I love an artist with one name. Love it. Give me a Sting. Give me a Sade. I'm in.
That's the only reason you picked this comic, right?
No. I picked it because all of these Image Universal Monster reboots or reduxes or new comic adaptations have been really good. And you cannot beat James Tynion writing a horror comic. And I'd like to think that everybody was like, ooh, I want Frankenstein. Ooh, I want Dracula. And like all the good ones were taken. And James Tynion was like, give me the Invisible Man. Because that's the hardest one to really make scary.
Sure.
I'm sorry. It's not that hard to make the Creature from the Black Lagoon scary. It's a monster, right? Danny is also very talented. She was the artist on Coffin Bound from Image and The Low Woods at DC. She's got plenty of horror chops. The preview for this comic looks really good. I've loved all of these. I've really enjoyed all of these. I'm excited for this one too.
This was almost my pick because I'm such a fan, a new fan of Danny's. Danny did the Commissioner Gordon backups in either Batman or Detective Comics for a while.
Yeah.
And I remember really loving those. And so when I saw the previews of this book in the back of the image books from the last few weeks, I was like, oh man, this looks great.
Yeah, she real good.
This is a good pick.
Excelsior! Oh.
That's it for THN 786. If you dig our new comic show, check us out on the YouTubes. I have added a ton of visuals, including like preview pages and shit, so you can see the art that we're talking about. Turns out
there's actually a point to having a video.
Comic books are a visual medium, folks. We found out
what
14 years into this audio podcast. Here we are. Anyway, you can subscribe to all of our shows separately there too. We got a back issue show. We got a gang hang. If you just download the show as a podcast, you're already getting the back issue show. You have to go to YouTube if you want to hear the gang hang. That's where it lives. Be sure to like, subscribe, star, do all the stuff. Write us a review. It really does help. And I realize
smash that bell.
We're not doing this right because we should be saying this in the very beginning so you do it. So hopefully you're listening through the end. We need your help. Help us out, okay? We also feature your fan art in the YouTube episodes. So send us your vision of what you think the two-headed nerd looks like. Or maybe you got a picture of the ziggurat, or maybe macho, whatever. We'll take it. Send it our way. We'll feature you on YouTube. You're internet famous. Get ready to have sex with a lot of strangers.
Next week, the back issue show returns, but if you need more THN before then, join us for the THN Gang Hang on Saturdays at 11 o'clock Central Time. You can check our Discord for the details at twoheadednerd.com/Discord.
THN is a listener-supported podcast, and it wouldn't be possible without the generosity of donors like our patron and THN fan artist, Mike Tisserand.
What?
Featured on our YouTube not long ago. Now, he was already famous. I like to think this pushed him over the edge, and now he's a billionaire, and he can go about ruining the earth with the other billionaires. If you support the show like Billionaire Mike, you can hear this week's extra where the comic pushers check in with our boy Anthony D to see how he liked our recommendation of the Tom DeFalco Ron Friends Thor run, which is a lot more fun than I remembered. I thought it sucked. Then I revisited it. I was like, it didn't suck. It was just really close to the Walt Simonson run, and that's hard to top. You can sign up to be a patron at patreon.com/, you guessed it, Two-Headed Nerd.
Before we go, our weekly shout out goes to comic book writer Steve Orlando, who married his longtime sweetheart Mike this past weekend in a ceremony officiated by none other than Man of Action Steve Seagal.
Oh man, I'll bet that reception was kick ass.
Hell yeah, it was. Al Ewing was there looking like a fucking 60s mod wizard.
Nice.
Mazel tov, you crazy kids.
Until next time, true relievers, remember to pre-order your comics, or a retailer might just take a crap in a box, wrap it up, and leave it as your wedding gift. This is the Two-Headed Nerd, signing off.